Deputy Minister of Defence and Military Veterans, Thabang Makwetla, with us tonight following the briefing he made earlier on the suspension of 4 officials, a CFO, a DDG, and chief directors being suspended. And part of the charge is financial decisions which were carried out without due authorization, insubordination, amongst others, and just generally bad management practices which are being investigated following the question of issues being raised by the Public Service Commission. Deputy Minister, the reason why you are acting on this particular matter is because the DG was approached again by the Public Service Commission via a letter to say, by the way, we flagged issues, we see no evidence of consequence management up until this point. I don't know if that probe had not happened from the Public Service Commission, whether we would be having these precautionary suspensions at this point.
It is indeed some of those things that make for the failures now and again that occurs within the public service. There was a report from the Public Service Commission which pointed out irregularities that were not attended to. It's something that was not made visible to the ministry. And the executing officers, rather the accounting officers, the accounting officers, the DGs, they have a lot of traffic of documents and correspondence that they deal with between their offices and other institutions of government, and most importantly, oversight institutions. And now and again, it does occur, it does happen that those issues that are taken up with departments by either the Public Service Commission or the External Audit Committee, at times they are not shared always with the ministry in some of these instances. And it would become a problem which the political oversight over the department, the executive, gets to know about it way after the problem has actually compounded. So those are some of the things that makes, at times, what otherwise it's a well-designed system, well thought out, to now and again end up failing. Yeah. So in this particular instance, the Public Service Commission assisted us by insisting that we have raised these matters before with you, there is no progress. We have raised these matters before with you, there is no progress. And until this got exposed and made visible by the newly appointed DG. And that is why we did not hesitate to instantly make it a point that we have an audience with the Public Service Commission to get the full account from their side. What are the issues that they had picked up before, which were not attended to, so that we can get on the road of, getting those issues corrected. Yeah. As a matter of fact, it is one of the decisions agreed in today's meeting with the Public Service Commission that there'll be collaboration. We've been put on terms now as a department to provide information within timelines that were stipulated in the meeting, and we are happy because it will help us move faster from the morass that we are in.
So, you had to take the Public Service Commission for that to happen. Do you think, Deputy Minister, there was political interference, in a sense, because that's one of the issues flagged in the annual report of the Public Service Commission, political interference in some of these decisions that would lead to such delays in implementing these issues that the Commission is raising with the department?
Well, I have not picked up that comment by the Public Service Commission that there was political interference, because the infractions that occurred, they happened within the realm of the department's internal activities. And those internal activities are supervised and managed by the accounting officer. They are not managed by the ministry. And political interference, I would not be sure in what way it would have come into the fray. But as I am saying, what was shared with us, it's what we were able to understand. There are weaknesses, and we've got to tighten up issues. Yeah. And the other point, of course, was that information submitted was not aligned to the reporting format that the Public Service Commission has put out there for departments to observe. So there were weaknesses even in the manner in which information was presented.
I mean,
but there was no mention.
Deputy Minister, I mean, you're saying all these little things that were holding this information from being released, all these processes that were being held up at a particular level for being carried out, it had to take a fresh blood, a new DG, who probably doesn't have legacy issues in the department, to just come in and say, right, let's go ahead, precautionary suspensions, let's go ahead and do this investigation. What was the holdup? What was the bottleneck that was creating all these problems, improper reporting, information being clogged up, suspensions not being done, investigations not being done? What was the holdup?
Unfortunately, over a period of time, it has become very evident, even from the reports of the monitoring and evaluation authority within the presidency, that over time, the Department of Military Veterans developed a culture of managers who really were an authority to themselves, who did not observe quite a number of very basic managerial requirements, to the extent that some of them involved, for instance, in procurement that was irregularly conducted, would be the first to jump and go out and complain that something wrong has happened against them or is being done against them by the authority within the department, unfairly so, when they themselves are the people who were involved in wrongdoing. They will take up these cases with the public protector. And as it is common knowledge, there are reports of the public protector against the department's management that were produced as a result of the misrepresentation of the facts of actually what the problem is within the department that led to the suspensions of these officials. So you have that kind of problem that had become almost now intractable. The people had tied themselves in all kinds of knots that was making
of this culture that is brewing. And as we know now, that DGs are supposed to periodically report to the political heads. Five political heads cannot interfere with operations, but they are briefed and given periodic reports of what's happening in the department. Why there has never been intervention from the ministry on these particular matters?
Well, the ministry deals, the ministry deals with the information that is presented in reports that the department puts to the ministry. It is very difficult for the ministry to deal with a matter which is not formally presented to the ministry through a memo, through some report, on the basis of what the minister or the deputy minister may come across in the corridors. it is difficult to deal with the matters in that way. The right way of dealing with these challenges is when the office of the accounting, the officer, the DG, presents these irregularities, presents these challenges, and shares them with the ministry, and get the minister's support to get action taken against those wrong practices within the department. But if the report of the accounting officer does not contain anything that suggests things that are irregular, the ministry would not have a leg to stand on to take up cudgels against the department on what they suspect is wrong.
Deputy Minister, we appreciate your time and thank you very much for joining us tonight. Deputy Minister in the